What is your emergency?
I didn't know exactly how to do it, but I just moved into this house. I'm renting it. Just moved in a couple days ago, and I found between two of the walls, I found a human skeleton. There's more than just the head. It looks like a whole skeleton. It's more than the head.
It looks like a whole skeleton.
It looks like it's been there a long time because it's kind of all broken up.
Texas couple, seeking the warmth of a new home, stumbled upon a chilling secret buried within the very fabric of their suburban dream. Bones, visible through a gap in the attic wall, a silent testament to a life extinguished, a mystery lingering in the dust-choked air. Red eyeglasses, a spectral clue, lay beside the mortal remains, remnants of a previous resident, a woman named Mary Cerruti, who vanished 2 years prior, leaving behind only whispers and unanswered questions. It was the summer of 2015, and 61-year-old Mary Cerruti had vanished. She was a recluse, her life shrouded in shadows, her home adorned with tapestries, a desperate attempt to ward off the prying eyes of the world. She ceased to pay her mortgage in 2014. A new apartment complex she opposed had just been built around her home, but no one could figure out where Mary had gone. She was reported missing sometime in 2015. Her neighbors, a mix of concern and idle curiosity, watched as her house succumbed to neglect. Overgrown weeds choked the yard, and mail piled up like unread secrets. Liddell lived across the street in 2015 when firefighters went inside Cerruti's house and found the stench of death. Her beloved cats, her only companions, met a grim fate within the walls of her silent prison. When the fire trucks were there, they said the smell was so bad in the house, Liddell remembered. They figured it was from the cats, because God knows how long they had been in there without food or water. And Mary, where was the shy, frail woman who had once called this place home? Unbeknownst to them, her secret lay hidden in plain sight, entombed within the very structure of her house. There she remained, a macabre tableau, her bones gnawed upon by unseen scavengers, her very essence consumed by the relentless march of decay. Even her spectacles, a final, tragic clue, bore the marks of rodent teeth. The number of people looking for Mary was limited. She had grown up in Kingsville, the daughter of a professor, to parents who both died before she turned 21. She attended the University of Houston but never graduated. She had 2 marriages and 2 divorces. Her life, marked by early loss and a solitary existence, had left her with few connections. A childhood friend, their memories faded by time, a scattering of cousins, their ties tenuous, and a few acquaintances, their bonds forged in the dusty aisles of a Montrose junk shop. These were the souls who remembered her, who cared enough to wonder where she had gone. But their numbers were few, their voices barely a murmur against the silence that had swallowed Mary whole. The house, a silent witness to Mary's disappearance, was sold at a foreclosure auction, the mystery of her fate still clinging to its walls like a shroud. The year was late, the shadows deep, and the truth remained buried, waiting to be unearthed. Then, on March 4th, 2017, new residents, full of the optimism of fresh beginnings, crossed the threshold of their new home. Little did they know that their dreams would soon be shattered by a macabre discovery, a chilling secret hidden within the very bones of the house itself. They found a skeleton resting behind a wall, and beside it, a pair of red eyeglasses, a spectral clue to a life tragically ended. Patrol Officer V. Torres Miranda was the first to arrive, the weight of the unknown pressing down upon him. He entered the silent house, climbed the creaking attic ladder, and peered down through a hole in the wooden planks. His report, stark and chilling, simply stated, "I noticed a possible human skull and other possible human bones around it." The scene was deemed too significant for routine handling. It was a training opportunity, a chance for officers to confront the macabre reality that sometimes lurked behind the facades of ordinary homes. Officer M. Garcia and others arrived at 2:39 p.m., 47 minutes after the initial call, their flashlights cutting through the dust-laden air of the attic, illuminating the skeletal remains below. The wheels of investigation began to turn, slowly, inexorably. Homicide Detective T. Fay of Murder Squad 17 arrived, his face grim, his experience a shield against the horrors he was about to witness. The Harris County Medical Examiner's personnel followed, their presence a stark reminder of the finality of death. The day was 61 degrees, partly cloudy, a deceptive calm before the storm. As evening descended and the rain began to fall, a chilling task lay before them. The bones, fragmented and scattered, were difficult to discern. A jigsaw puzzle of mortality. But Detective Fay's assessment was clear. There was what appeared to be a skull. It seemed to be located in a closed-off linen closet, as if the floor had given way, sending the body tumbling into its final resting place. The bones were scattered around in the wall space, Fay wrote in his report. The only bone I could clearly identify was the skull. The firefighters, their faces grim, their axes raised, prepared to tear open the wall, to expose the secrets hidden within, to bring the silent tragedy into the light. Before her tragic death, she lived a secluded life. Her family, distant, scattered. Her closest living relatives were cousins, their connection a thin thread stretched across the years, making the grim task of identification a chilling challenge. January, months after the macabre discovery, the Harris County Coroner's Office finally pierced the veil of anonymity. After exhaustive forensic tests, the bones, ravaged by time and decay, spoke at last. They were Mary Cerruti, 61 years old. Her life, a quiet tragedy, now revealed in the stark language of bone and dust. The investigators pieced together the fragments of her final moments. In the attic, the report stated, there was a broken board leading down to the space between the walls. Law enforcement's grim conclusion? She had lightly stumbled, a frail, elderly woman lost in the labyrinthine spaces of her own home, falling through the attic floor, tumbling into the narrow crevice that would become her tomb. A single-story house with an attic, a space between the walls just large enough to accommodate a human form. The cause of death, a chilling ambiguity, was listed as undetermined. The bones, picked clean by scavengers, offered no clear narrative, no sign of trauma, no whisper of foul play. Decay and the relentless gnawing of animals had claimed the evidence, leaving behind only the skeletal remains and the haunting questions. Roxanne Davis, a neighbor, spoke of the impossible. The gap in the boards. "Maybe 8 inches," she murmured, her voice filled with disbelief. Mary was frail, yes, but how could she fall through such a narrow space? It's hard to believe. A chilling thought lingered in the air. There were hundreds of eyes on her house. Everyone knew she was alone, elderly, frail, vulnerable. Detective Fay, his face etched with the weariness of countless investigations, knew the theories. Some suspected foul play, whispered of Mary being targeted because of her age and isolation, but the neighborhood had watched over her, or so they thought. Even after her disappearance, her car remained in the driveway, a silent testament to the mystery that had swallowed her whole. When the medical examiner confirmed the grim truth, Detective Fay closed the file. "A very unfortunate accident," he declared, the words hollow, inadequate. No one was aware until it was too late. The case, as good as closed, left behind a chilling echo of unanswered questions, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the dark secrets that can lie hidden within the walls of our homes, waiting to be unearthed by chance, a macabre twist of fate. Here concludes our story, and remember, if you sleep, you'll make it easier for them.